Hello, in this video we're going to take a look at setting up a number and starting your first ad campaign with Track My Ad. When you log into your account, go to the My Account page, and this is where you can add or remove phone numbers, manage your agents, and change your plan and your account information. We're going to do a simple ad campaign on two different islands. One is the Big Island of Hawaii, and the other is Long Island, New York. And we're going to use local phone numbers for this example. So to get the phone numbers, click here on Add Numbers. And I'm going to go through this fairly quickly. There's a lot more detail about this in the local and toll-free numbers video. For now, what you need to know is you need a phone number that is local to the area where the ad's going to be printed. And you'll use the first three digits of that number as an example. So I'm going to start with the Long Island one. I'm going to ask for one phone number. The area code is 516. And the number that I'm using as an example begins with 888. So I'll click on Add Local. And depending on what plan you have, you'll be charged for this or not. If your plan includes phone numbers and you haven't used them all yet, then there won't be a charge. The system will tell you exactly all that detail and ask you to confirm. So I'm clicking on Approved, and in a few seconds it'll come back and tell me, yep, here you go, you've been charged, and we'll send you an email with the details. So that took care of Long Island. Now I'm going to do the Big Island of Hawaii. We can assign numbers to you anywhere in the United States and Canada using this system. On the Big Island of Hawaii, the area code's 808, and the example number I'm using begins with 443. So I put that in, click on Add Local. Same thing, it gives me the info, I'm approving it, and in a few seconds it comes back and says, okay, you got it. So I've just added two new phone numbers to my account, and these numbers are active right now. So let's take a look and see how you can use them. To do that, we'll go over to the control panel. So click there. And this is where you can look at live calls or get the history of your calls. You can manage your phone numbers, and you can get stats and also go back to your call recordings. So for now, let's take a quick look at the numbers screen. There are our two brand new numbers that we've just assigned. The phone number is here. The forwarding number by default will be the number that you put in on your account. You can change that account wide, or you can change it per number if you wish to. The whisper message is a recorded message that you'll hear when you answer a call. By default, that message is simply the phone number itself, so you can identify which number the person called, and that means you can identify which ad they're responding to. And of course, you can change that whisper message to anything you like. The info is a little bit longer than the whisper message, and you can put more detailed ad information here for your reference when you're taking calls. The call will pop up on your screen, and this info will be displayed along with that. The VM, or voicemail column, shows the voicemail box that will be used for calls that are not answered. Now you can disable that if you don't want them to go to voicemail. You can set up a separate voicemail box for each ad if you wish, or by default, it's going to use the same voicemail for all of them. The rest of the information, start, end, and cost, has to do with ad costing information and tracking the costs per result. So we'll look at that in more detail in other videos. Now, I'm going to go over to the calls screen. This is where you would normally be if you're waiting for calls to come in. And you can also search for prior calls in your call history. And there's also a section here where you can fill in the details on a call in progress. So I'm going to show you how that works right now. I'm placing a call to our 516 number. And when the caller calls that number, they'll hear a recording saying this number may be recorded. And then it rings in on your phone, and you can see the information on the screen here that tells you about the call. So it shows you the caller ID, the whisper message, which in this case is just the phone number that they dialed. If we had information for the ad, that would display right here. And it shows right now there is no agent ID defined. So when I answer that call, I hear the whisper message, which is simply the phone number, and I'm going to press 1 to accept the call. And I hear a beep, and I'm now talking with the caller, and the agent has updated to agent number 1. And the reason it says David here is because I put that in the agent screen earlier. We'll show you elsewhere how to go about doing that. So while that call's in progress, I can click on this little grab it button right here, and that fills in the information that's available up on the screen. The ad that they called on, which in this case is the phone number, and the caller ID of the caller. And I can put in notes here that might say, you know, interest in further specials or something like that, whatever is relevant to this particular call. And then I'm going to click on 1 because we sold this one, so that's a good thing. And then I'll click on complete, and that updates the database with the information about this call. It does not end the call. You won't do that by accident. You have to actually hang up. But it does record the result. You can see right here the result has changed to 3. Okay, so when I'm done with the call, I'll hang up, or the caller will hang up. And a few seconds later, you see it clear off the screen, and we're done with that call. So that's all it takes to set up a new phone number and start advertising and tracking your calls. So let's go over to the stats screen and see what we see in our calls per ad. And as you can see, it's updated immediately. We have so far received 1 phone call on our 516 number, and that allows us to track our results. Now, the other videos are going to give you a lot more detail on tracking costs and agent information and so on. That's it for this one. Thank you.